What's going on, guys? Welcome to the GIFD Lifestyle. Today, a very special guest, my good friend, WWE Superstar Sheamus. Sheamus, how are you today, man?
Jerry, how you doing, brother?
I'm
How's
doing
it going,
great,
man?
man. I'm doing awesome. We got some cool stuff to talk about today. As people know already, you have made your return to the ring. And like last time, we talked about when you first started training and stuff like that. And I think that it's important. I really want people to know what went into this return because I watched you do it. And it's unbelievable the amount of determination, willpower, the push, the grind every day that I think people don't really understand. So if you want to, let's start kind of like where you went. I guess it was after the match with Kofi, you kind of were out for about 9 months.
Yeah, I got a bad concussion. It was my own fault, really. But I was also burnt out at the time. And just felt like we kind of on a merry-go-round, you know what I mean? Me and Cesaro as the bar.
Yeah.
I've said this to everybody, it's one of my favorite times in wrestling is tagging with Cesaro. And we created an amazing legacy with the bar, which I think down the road we can definitely always return to. But I just got completely burnt out. But just before I got burnt out, I was kind of like I really invested in the way I looked in my physique, and I know I talked to you a lot about helping with the macros and dialing that in because I'd already been doing the fasted cardio and I'd already been working out, and yeah, dogs are going crazy. But I just I got in really good shape for Mania. But a lot of people were saying that you can't really maintain that,
Yeah.
But so after WrestleMania, I got sidelined for a while, and once I got over the concussion, I just was full steam ahead into my workouts, into my training, keeping my diet steady, keeping it consistent, and staying on point with everything. And there's been ups and downs. I've hit my peak at times when I was still off because I wasn't sure when I was supposed to go back.
Yeah.
But it's it doesn't get any easier. Like fast cardio every morning, it's tough. Like there's mornings you wake up and you don't want to do it, but you got to do it.
Yeah.
Same with training and getting into a routine. It's hard. It's physically hard, but I had a picture in my mind about how I wanted to return, how I wanted to look like, what I wanted to look like when I returned, and I never wavered from that. That image.
I mean, you definitely, I can hear the bed over there playing. I mean, you definitely, people don't understand. So you were doing fasted cardio, you were hitting the weights hard, and you were the part I would really, really, really hammer home is you were so strict with the foods. I mean, you were trying to hit those numbers every day. You've logged into MyFitnessPal something like 560 days in a row or something like that.
Yeah, along with RP diet as well, which I
RP
use
diet,
now,
yeah.
which helps. It just feels a little bit more interactive, more on cue for me. But I still use both.
And you've been literally eating those foods, and it's, I mean, you had your days where you plan to bring the carbs up, or if you plan to go on, have something like a burger or whatever the case may be, but you just didn't cheat either. Like, even though it was your off time from WWE, a lot of guys, you see them go away and they come back, not only are they not any better, but they actually look worse sometimes.
Yeah, look, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. Like it's hard to stay on point. Will I say I hit every macro to the carb? No,
Yeah.
I didn't. But I feel like once you gave me that roadmap of what I need to be on, and depending how I felt that day or how much exertion I had, it was always a little bit higher or below that. But I feel like it's once you have the idea where you are, like where your macros are, what they're supposed to be. If you spill over them a little bit or below them, at least where the template is. You can stay as close to the template as possible, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
Will I stay here and say, I didn't cheat, I didn't do this? No, I'm not a machine, man. You know what I mean? I'm not a robot. But my low carb days, I stuck as low as I possibly could to them, and on my high carb days, I went all out. And it's actually tough because I'm so used to eating low carbs now that when I have my high carb days, I struggle to get the carbs in.
Yeah.
My favorite carb, believe it or not, is oatmeal. I love oatmeal. And high carb days, for example, what you set me up with was 125 grams of carbs. Initially, what we had 125 grams of carbs on. It was Thursday, Friday. So protein. Let's go back. Protein and fat stay the same. Protein's always been 250. Fats has always been 80 grams. Carbs are the only thing that changes. So on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 125. On Wednesday they went up to like 350. Thursday back down to one. Thursday, Friday back down to 125, and I think Saturday was 275.
Yeah.
So the high carb days were kind of like in between everything, right? But then when I went back, I felt I was a little flat. I was doing the kickboxing with Bernard Robinson, who's a former kickboxing coach. I was in physical therapy, not because I need to do it or I'm injured, but because I was working on some instabilities in my own physique. So I basically working on like my thoracic spine and some trunk issues, and which I've overlooked. Which by correcting all these things, you're going to lift heavier and you deadlift more, and your posture's better, and you're reducing your chance of getting injuries. So you don't have to just go to physical therapy because you're hurt. It's also a way of just staying ahead. Like prevention. Prevention is just as good, as recovery. So
Yeah.
when I talked about how I felt flat because I was doing so much, because to me, like I couldn't do enough. I was so motivated to get back, but I wanted to get back in great shape. I had all this time off, and as you said, there's people who are like, they're like, oh, they come back in worse shape. I was completely opposite. I knew this is an opportunity because I knew this is my chance to come back and show people how hard it worked, and know that like I just stay motivated. And I didn't drink. I gave up the booze, the sugar, gave up dairy, gave up gluten, and my body felt great because I took out all these inflammatory foods. For people who know, like I don't eat dairy at all. I don't even drink whey protein. I don't eat cheese. I eat gluten-free cheese. I drink almond milk or coconut milk because dairy is not good for you. It's
Yeah.
just not good for you. Like I know the difference. My body feels taking the dairy out. My neck, everything, my body, my hips, knees, all feel so much better because they're not inflamed. So gluten as well is a situation. Even if you're not gluten intolerant, gluten still creates an inflammatory process in your body. Like so, all these things, I took control of, and but I still felt a bit flat, right? So I felt flat. I felt like I'm not like I wanted to go back, but I wanted to go back like
Yeah.
big,
Looking the
like
best, big, full, lean. Yeah.
yeah. And that's when we talked to you about it. Like so, what we did was instead of having the high carb days on Wednesday and Saturday, we changed to Wednesday, Thursday. So carb up Wednesday, carb up Thursday. So by Friday, when I get to TV, I'm able to pump up and look. Basically, my body's full of carbs, and I'm pumped up, and I'm just basically like I'm looking jacked.
What we try to do is basically like, I kind of looked at what you were doing as like, there's a lot of bodybuilders out there. They don't do it anymore, but back in the day, we used to compete a lot. And there were times when we do shows back to back to back, maybe 4 or 5 shows in a row. And what we did is what
Mm.
you're doing now. We arranged the carbs so we'd peak each week on that one day. So it was like
Yeah,
something that I kind of just took that and I kind of pushed it towards what you were doing. And it not only filled out, but adding the boxing in. I don't think people realize what you were doing is not like your cardio kickboxing stuff. You were actually doing rounds of boxing, which is more, of course, energy expenditure. And you're going to have to either, use more glycogen or add more fats or something like that. So we use glycogen because it's, easier for your body to use. Put that extra in just on the days that you're doing the boxing, and that seemed to do the trick.
that's right. Yeah, so we don't knock them off the macro intake. So the carbs I was taking like 3/4 of a bowl of oatmeal, but that didn't come off my daily intake of
Yeah,
of,
it
of
was just added
macros.
addition
So
too.
you just put it in there because I was doing like 15 3-minute rounds, like full whack boxing,
Yeah,
kickboxing, and sometimes I tell just to kind of imitate the ring because you know we wrestle matches for anywhere from like 5 minutes to 20 minutes. So at the end, I'd have a coach basically like do combine four rounds, including the break. So that's 12 plus 4. That's like 12. That's like 16 minutes
yeah,
nonstop. And he'd have me do burpees. Like he'd like have me like hit the pads 4 times, drop down, give a burpee, back up again. So it's just kind of like the ring where you're dropping down and you're moving. So it was a kind of very very intense cardio type of style, but it was as close to imitating my stuff in the ring as possible. But yeah, that was a great. That was it. Like I was basically now going forward, I treat every SmackDown as if it's a bodybuilding show.
right,
Not that I'm a bodybuilder, because
right.
I'm
I
not.
mean, it's the same thing. You're
I'm
trying
not.
to peak your
Yeah,
physique for that one day,
yeah,
So
and it's
now,
worked.
when you got back, were people like, "Wow, like holy, like what did you do? Like what have you been doing?"
Yeah, I mean, people. I mean, obviously, I post a lot of pictures on Instagram too.
Right.
So people were aware of it, and from the RP diet stuff and letting people know it's all about diet. So people were kind of aware that, what sort of shape I was in.
Yeah.
I got like a lot of compliments and stuff, and people asked me like a lot of questions for advice, which I gave, and happy to share the knowledge. That's the thing. You should always be happy to share the knowledge.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's a situation where
They want to be on camera too.
they do. They're just like kids, not they're like kids. They're just excited. But yeah, that's what it was. It was just being consistent. Like it wasn't like I've been I remember being in Flex Gym in Dublin. I was 15 or 16 or 17 actually. It was like a real hardcore heavy bodybuilder gym. I was like didn't know what I was doing. I was in there like it was always freezing cold in the winter, always hot as hell in the summer. I was in a basement gym. Half the machines had like were sellotaped or I don't know, different things pinned together to make them work. Half the cushions off the bench press was missing, so people would be putting down like pillows or something. It was crazy hardcore. But I remember a couple of times like being unaware of the whole bodybuilding thing, where the lads would be wearing sweatshirts when they're working out because they didn't want anyone else to see what they look like.
Right.
But I was that in that situation. I'm sure it would have been a bigger like reaction had I done that sort of vibe. But
right.
No time for that, mate.
They call it unwrapping the package, unwrapping the present. Where Dorian Yates used to do that. He'd stay covered up, and nobody really knew because he was in England. So not like back then we didn't have the internet, and he would just stay over there and train. Nobody really saw him. Then he would actually come to America for the Olympia, and even when he weighed in, nobody would see him weigh in. He'd stay in that warm-up suit. Nobody would see him until literally it was time for him to go on stage. And then Steve Weinberger, some of the guys would come around him and block him so no one could actually see him take the sweatsuit off. And he would pump up with people around him so they couldn't see him. And then they would just part and he would walk out and everybody would be like, oh, man. Like, it would be so much of like screw with their minds that they were beaten before they even got on stage because they hadn't seen him. And it was like, had they seen him all year long, they would have known what they were up against and been able to prepare for it. But they had no clue. So they're just kind of out there in the wind trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
So you get back to SmackDown, the first night that you get back and you go out into the ring. They actually had you doing a lot of promos backstage, which I thought was really cool. They had you like developing the character stuff. But the first time you actually got back in the ring, what did that feel like when you walked down the ramp and you got in the ring? Did you feel any different, like being in like the best shape of your life, walking in front of all these people? Like, what did that feel like?
I wasn't really thinking about that. I was just thinking about going out there and just taking Shorty G's head off without tripping up or slipping or any of that stuff. No, I wasn't thinking about that. I pumped up and everything. I actually think I pumped up and everything, and I didn't know what. Like it was weird. Like it was just kind of like I definitely like. My adrenaline was going 100 miles an hour walking out there. And then the crowd reacted. It was in Memphis, so it wasn't too far. It was like a 2.5-hour drive up the road for me from Nashville. But I just went going out there, and I remember just waiting. And I guess time-wise, wasn't that much time for us to go out there because I guess the show was running heavy. But I went out, and the crowd went mental, and they were like, welcome back, and I think they were like chanting Sheamus. I thought it was like it came out after the revival, and then ended up taking Shorty's head off, and they started booing me. I think a lot of people want me to come back like as a baby face, but I was like, nah, it's much more fun being a heel.
So was it like let's say when you're on stage as a bodybuilder, you like before you go on stage, you look in the mirror, you kind of know what you look like. But when you actually get on stage, you kind of forget what you look like. Like you'll actually see bodybuilders flexing, and they'll look down at themselves. Because they're actually like, is my muscle still there? Or am I, like, is it like that when you go out there? Like you forget about what you look like, you're just concentrating on what's going on?
You just concentrate on what's going on. Like, I don't, like, once you're out there, you're out there. Like, in the back, it's actually pumping up and doing push-ups and using bands to pump yourself up, like shoulders or whatever it is, and stretching. That's the time because that kind of takes your mind off. Like, it actually helps not get stressed or worried about it because your mind's always working. It's working on what you're doing at that moment, so you're not overthinking anything when you go through the curtain.
Yeah.
Even at this stage, over almost 11 years in June, you still the nerves and adrenaline still get you. I mean, anyone who's any passion for this business will tell you it's the same thing. Like the same. I've seen Taker at Mania, like even like just a few years ago, you see him in the mirror and he's looking, and you can see he's getting ready and he's getting into character, and he's like, but you can see too that like he's got like adrenaline's going for him, like there's a lot of emotion going out there.
Yeah.
So you don't think any of that stuff, Jerry. You just go out there and do what you got to do and get stuck in. You're not worried about how your muscles look or how your abs look. You're just in the back. You get pumped up, pump as much as you can, and you just go out and do it.
Just do your business.
Yeah.
You can tell when you came out. I remember it was that match when you kicked Shorty G. I think it was the first time you came out, and you were standing there. Aaron and I were actually watching at home. Of course,
was this a SmackDown thing or was this the match?
It was a SmackDown, and of course we watch every week. Now that you're back on, we watch every single week. We're home 8:00. Make sure we're on TV to make sure we find you. And I remember you standing there, and Erin was like, she goes, "Wow, look at him," because you look really, really pissed off, right? I'm like, well, yeah, it's part of the character. I said, but see him breathing? You could see, you were like, you could see the breathing. I said, that's not because he was just running around. I said, because he just did one kick. I said, that's the adrenaline. I'm like, he's trying to control that adrenaline. Like, there's no bigger rush. It just isn't. Even bodybuilding, it's not the same rush when you walk out there and it's like all these people live, and they're all staring at you all the time. And especially when they're behind you, it's like the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, that was the thing. I couldn't stop breathing heavy.
You could see it, but it works because the character looked like you were ready to just kill him, even though he's on the ground. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it's like it. It did look like you really wanted to hurt him bad, and that was the general consensus.
Yeah. I enjoy the physicality of the business. I really do. People go like when you hear people talk about how wrestling is, it's not fake wrestling. I guess there was some politician over here or something. I don't really follow politics very much in America, I'm from Ireland. I mean, I know it's two parties, but talking about like how wrestling is fake, something about Trump and thing is fake, but like there's nothing fake about what we do. Like, right. I love the physicality of it. I love getting stuck in, and I bring it hard, and I'll drill a guy in there, and I'll expect him to drill me back just as hard, if not harder.
Yeah.
It's always a fight with me. It's not fancy. It's not high flying stuff. It's a scrap.
Well, I remember before I even knew you, I remember seeing you hit somebody with your forearm, and I went, that dude's stiff. I was like, he hit him hard, but I mean, obviously that's the name of the game. But I was like, he's really clubbing into him like that, and it's I get what you're saying, but it's really fun to watch you do what you do because you can see how much you enjoy it. You can see it. It oozes out of you,
Yeah, I love it. It's for me. It's awesome. I love it. And there's nothing like it. I mean, I'm just like Raw's on right behind me now. In front of me, Becky's wrestling, and like I don't know where they are. I think they're in Ontario, California, but the place is packed to the rafters. Like you have all these people, like all eyes on you. Like say what you want about other sports. I mean, obviously, it's going to sound very egotistical here, but like say what you want about like NFL and basketball and stuff. Like there's all eyes around the team,
Yeah.
But all eyes are on the people in the ring.
Right. When you're in there, eyes are on you.
All eyes on you, man. And it's every week.
Yeah. Now, do you feel like your body recovers faster now that you're in such great shape as opposed to before, or no?
I feel like what's weird? I do feel like I recover quicker. But again, it's because I don't really drink alcohol anymore, and because I avoid the inflammatory foods, and I think that really helps.
Yeah.
Because I talked to Kofi Kingston the other day, and he was saying like he's the same. He's on the vegan protein, off the dairy, and he was saying to me like, you feel like your muscles sore, but you don't feel like the joints sore as much from training because you're not taking inflammatory foods in. That's a big part of it too. Like I feel like I do feel like I'm sore, but I don't feel like I have the soreness that I did. And I'm training probably more in heart, and I'm obviously not lifting the same weights I used to because I'm trying to obviously make sure there's more longevity in my career. Like the ego of throwing 405 on my back for a squat and squatting about 8 times, or deadlifting over 500 pounds, like that's cool. But like, generally that's just wearing down my discs. You know what I mean? And my joints. I don't care how good your form is. I don't care how much fish oil you're taking in. That's just gonna wear your body down.
Yeah.
I'm just training smarter. As I said, going to physical therapy, doing different types of things, different types of movements, different types of stability training, and more like an athlete. as opposed to just doing compound stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not a powerlifter. I'm not going to be competing as the world's strongest man. I'm not, you know what I mean. I'm not going to be competing at the CrossFit Games. I'm in the wrestling ring, and I need to make sure that my training, uh, complements my wrestling style and wrestling in ring work.
Right. And you just had a birthday, 42 years old. Happy birthday, man. And
Appreciate it.
and 40 is a great 40 and over is great, man. It's a good ride. Some people get freaked out, but I'm enjoying over 40. But how do you
Yeah,
feel overall? I mean, and now you're
I feel
eating a
better.
certain way, you're
Honestly,
training.
I feel better than when I was 31. Like I started in I came to America when I was 29. And again, like I look back, like physically the way I looked, my diet was just all wrong. Like it just was not right. You know what I mean? It was just all wrong. And the way I feel now and look now, but more importantly, the way I feel better now than I did when I was 31. I feel
Yeah.
better when I became WWE champion for the first time. And I'm moving better and just know my body better. I'm always learning, and I'm always picking people's brains like yours. And I'm always trying to take those ideas and take that philosophy and utilize it. I think it's very important for people watching this and want to make themselves better. You always have to have an open mind. Celtic Warrior Workouts really was what set this all in motion, because I never really trained. I never really not trained, but I never really I just do my thing, and I wouldn't it's intimidating to think of oh, okay, it's CrossFit style or yoga or like even um, you know even talking about uh, Jane Fonda style workouts. You know what I mean? I think what the word for that is,
Sweating
but
to the oldies or something like that, right? Or something
yeah,
like that.
but there's so many different types of there's so many different types of workouts out there, and once you open your mind to it and try it, and not be afraid to fail, and not be afraid to look like you don't know what you're doing, but if you embrace it, then then you can learn so much more about yourself and about the workout. If you just go in there and you're like, oh well, boxing, like for example, when I first started boxing, I looked terrible. I looked absolutely terrible. I looked ridiculous. I didn't know what I was doing. I was hitting my form was off, my footwork was off, everything was off. And I just but I stuck to it. I was like, I'm determined to get good at this. I just stuck to it, kept training, kept boxing, and I got getting better and better and better, and I'm loving it. That's the same process for anything. If I went to jiu-jitsu, I haven't done jiu-jitsu since I was 16. If I went in there again, I'm sure I look like a complete idiot doing it. But that's where we all start, and that's the whole point of brave change. It's like not being afraid to make that change or take that step and trying something new, because you never know, it could lead to a life-changing experience where you start loving it and start getting into it. You know what I mean? And it's just that's where my mind was at with that, and always been open now. The challenge is kept my mind open, like not being there dismissing other people's ideas,
Right.
listening to them, thinking about them, and trying them out and say, does this work for me? No. Does this work for me? Yes. This is great. Yeah, this might not work for me, but it'll work for somebody else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I've
You
actually
got so many
learned quite a
people
bit of
out there
stuff.
they just don't want to try that. Like, oh no, I'm set in my ways. That's
Yeah.
fine, but it's not gonna get any better.
I've actually been learning some new things from Celtic Warrior workouts. One of the things was the clubs. Like I had actually never seen the clubs before you used them, and then I
Yeah.
saw the Samoa Joe
Mojo
workout.
working, right?
Yeah, the Turkish clubs, is that what they're called? Or Persian clubs?
There's
It's
two
two different
different,
ones.
yeah, Persian and Turkish. Just people. There's a war about that. There's a massive disagreement. People get upset if you call them Turkish. People get upset if you call them Persian. So
Let's just call them the clubs. All right, so the clubs. When you
yeah,
did the club workout with Samoa Joe, I was looking at what you guys are doing for shoulder stability because I have that problem with my shoulder from my torn pec. And I was like, damn. So I went to a few gyms in the area. They don't have them. And then you told me you can get them like on Amazon. So I haven't picked them up yet. But I mean, again, like I've been watching these things you're doing. Like today, I told you I did the ball slams and the kettlebell swings. And I guarantee you that if anybody saw me doing it, which was a gym full of people, they were like, "What an idiot Jerry looks like." I could tell I look stupid just by moving because I'd never done it before. My goal
yeah,
is to start doing these functional things because I can't do the things I used to do. So it's good. I mean, I think your channel in general, the Celtic Warrior Workouts, has a good blend of many different things. You know what I mean? It's not just bodybuilding. It's not just athletic. It's got many things on it. But the whole take-home message all the time is try to be better, push one another, support one another, and have a good time doing it. And I think that's the whole take-home of the whole channel. It's awesome.
absolutely. And I'm delighted that that's brought that to you, because I brought that was the whole idea. The whole idea is to help people, make people better, or give them courage to try something they never would have tried. And I
Yeah.
think that's what's happening for a lot of people. There's so many workouts on Celtic Warrior Workouts, so many different workouts I've tried, and they're not my workouts. So like the victory for me is getting to the end of them,
Right.
but also knowing that you've done that workout and got through it. There's a great feeling of accomplishment in that as well. And it's like you can't explain it. And there's also a bond with everybody like I train with. You know, at the end of the day, like a lot of these superstars and men and women I've worked out with, like I know them. We wouldn't be super close. You know, we'd be courteous to each other.
Yeah.
But I feel like at the end of after every workout with every different superstar, there's definitely kind of bond created in the gym when you work out with someone and you kind of make it to the end.
Yeah.
When there's nothing like training with somebody, it definitely creates something special.
Yeah. I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you have like training partners, people that have trained for years together that are closer than some family members.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That one bond they have is the training, you know?
Exactly. I've gone through training like partners as well, like, you know, and it's weird because it's a couple of times like I'd be at the gym waiting and I give the guy a couple of chances to be there in time, and when you're waiting there, like it is kind of like that's their situation. Finding a good training partner is hard
Yeah.
because sometimes they'll let you down. You'll be there early, but they'll always be late. You know.
It's a relationship, is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to be there for one another. That's what it is. It's like a brotherhood, you know?
Definitely is, yeah, without a doubt. But yeah, I just train on my own now most of the time.
Well,
When Rusev's around, I'll train Rusev, but you might spend most of his time in LA now, so I'll kind of end up just training on my own. But that's cool. I know where I'm at. I know my limitations, and I'm able to do what I can do, and I'll do it as hard as I can. No distractions. I've got my own Brave Change gym there. So
I was just going to mention that. You have the Brain Change Gym that week by week it's getting better. You keep adding pieces to it and changing things.
It's pretty close now. I'm pretty close to done. I've got a couple of things, like an artist coming in to kind of finish off a few things, but like it's the equipment I have in there is a combination of bells of steel and a Tough Stuff Fitness. It's unreal, man. I've got everything I possibly need.
It is a real gym. It's not a home gym. It is a real gym.
No,
you know?
It's definitely a real gym. Got a heavy duty squat rack in there.
You got a belt squat, right?
Belt squat from Bells of Steel, the cages from Bells of Steel. I've got bumper plates from Bells of Steel, and I've got pre-core leg press I picked up on Facebook Marketplace. I've got 2 sets of Nautilus dumbbells, 1 to 52, 1 to 90. I've got 2 sets of 95, 1 set of 95 dumbbells, and I have like a couple of like the 2.5 pounds, a couple of 2.5 pound magnetic plates. So I basically have 100 pounds worth of dumbbells.
Yeah.
I've got kettlebells. I've got a leg extension hamstring curl, like gym quality machine from Tough Stuff. I've got benches from Tough Stuff, incline decline bench. I've also got a multifunctional trainer from which is gym worthy, like professional gym worthy from Tough Stuff as well, and VKM as well. Is it VKM? It's like Vince Kennedy McMahon. VKR, I think it is. It's basically like a combination of a dip machine, pull-up machine, and you can swap the back where you do the dips for like seated abs, and also has like push-up bars in the bottom. It's pretty badass.
Yeah, and it's got the logo on it too, right?
Got all the logos,
yeah.
All the tough stuff gear has my Celtic Warrior workout logos on. I've got bands in there. I've got mats. I've got everything I possibly need. Slam balls. I could go on forever what's in there. So, and I also have a mace as well, which is great for the shoulder mobility stuff as well.
Yeah, I remember when you said something about mace training. I'm like, you spray yourself with mace and then go try. I didn't know what you were talking about. I'm like, what's he talking about? It's like, no, you have a mace. I'm like, oh, okay.
Club like a mace, yeah. It's brilliant. It's like a different version of doing like the clubs, you know. But yeah, you know, I have TRX in there as well. Like I always have little bits and pieces here, but the majority of the stuff is in there now.
Yeah.
And I'm super pumped about it, mate. It's great. Oh, I also have like Concept 2 bike, Concept 2 ski or G, and a Concept 2 rower for my cardio. So
those bikes are killer, man. Those bikes are no joke whatsoever.
Every morning on the bike, 30 minutes. I get a level 6, 30 minutes, about 70 RPMs. Keep it at that.
That's hard. It's hardcore, man.
It's tough, and I think the good thing is too, like or instead of doing I used to do the elliptical machines all the time, but I feel like doing the bike all the time is great for your quads. You just building great quads and hams because like you just you're just cycling all the time. Like you
Yeah.
look at cycling, never see cyclists with skinny legs. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's no, that's another part of my leg workout as well.
So you started Brave Change with Celtic Warrior workouts, and then it turned into a gym, and now it's moved into a clothing line. So now
Yes.
you have the Brave Change clothing line, which I wear that T-shirt probably 3 days a week. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. And every time I wear it, people go, "Oh, it's like old school, like and that was what it was supposed to be." So why don't you explain how the Brave Change gym wear? I mean, it really is something you could wear in the gym and wear out of the gym at the same time.
Yeah. It's super comfortable both in the gym, out of the gym. The flat caps have always been something I loved. It comes from it's a collaboration with Boston Scally. And the thing I've always worked, you can always see in gyms, especially me growing up, is like women always have it down to a T with their workout gear. They always look great. They always look coordinated. From the shoes, their yoga pants, their tops or sports tops, whatever. Men have always been completely disjointed with the workout gear, different colors, different matching shoes and shorts and t-shirts. So the idea was to create a really, really cool uniform look set of gear that was comfortable both in the gym and outside the gym. So the shorts and t-shirt and flat cap. The flat cap with the Boston Scotty, the cap I'm wearing here as well. You can sweat in it and wash it out. It doesn't smell. The t-shirts, tank tops and stuff, like they're really, really comfortable. And when they sweat, they don't feel like they're hanging off you or like you're wearing it, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
you're wearing like heat on you. And then again, you throw on a pair of jeans, throw on a fresh Brave Change Gymnasium t-shirt and another flat cap. And straight to the bar, man, and you look just as cool. So it's kind of takes all the thinking and thought out of you know takes all the thought out of just figuring out what to wear to the gym or what to wear out.
Right.
It's just men can stress themselves out, and what am I going to wear out? What am I going to wear out? What am I going to wear to the gym? It just takes all the stress out of it.
So the shirt itself feels very vintage too. Like it's a soft material. It
Yeah,
feels like
yeah,
it's very vintage too.
yeah. Yeah, that was the idea. A really, really cool old school vintage vibe. And the logo, the Brave Change Gymnasium logo, with the Dublin in there, established 1978, was my birthday. And actually, my girlfriend created an awesome, awesome piece for the door into the gym. That's going to go on the door hopefully tomorrow or Wednesday. I'll throw a few pictures of it, but it's badass, man. It's just I love that old school vibe. That's
Yeah.
what it is. Some gyms get and workouts get too fancy. It's too fancy. People don't know what's going on. Sometimes it's cool just to take it back to basics.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just like everybody else. Just that's the way it was, man. Like I feel like we get too complicated with things, and we try to make things overcomplicated for the sake of making them overcomplicated.
Yeah.
But no harm just going back to basics, which is kind of like what CrossFit is. Like a lot of stuff, a lot of lifts, kettlebell swings, and squats and deadlifts and snatches and stuff. It's just kind of like, and rowing. It's pretty much old school workouts, which work great.
It's funny you say old school and taking it back to basics. So this ball slam thing, I've been absolutely infatuated with ball slams for like the last week, just because I wanted to try them because I learned about how good they are. Did you know it dates back like 3,000 years?
Jesus,
Ball slams were done by gladiators, even before gladiators. They would actually take animal skins, fill them with sand, and they would do the same exact exercises. And they called it something else, but now it's called med ball. They used to call them medicine balls because it was like medicine for your body. They would actually have people doing different things like
That's what they
calisthenics
call
with
them at balls.
Yeah, because it was actually medicine for the person, just moving it around and stuff. It was getting their body more mobile and more active and stuff. It was medicine for your body that wasn't really something you took like orally. So they called them medicine balls. It was a ball that worked like medicine and made you feel better. So they called it a med ball. And I was like, 3,000 years. And I'm like, tomorrow morning, damn it, I'm going to slam that ball on the ground as hard as I can. I'm going to try this 3,000-year-old workout. And I got really intrigued with it. But yeah, it's that old.
That's amazing. I always wondered why the medicine ball thing came.
Yeah, I thought maybe the doctor had it for physical therapy and they called it that, but it goes so far back. It's like 3,000 or 4,000 years or something. They had them like in Egypt and stuff, and I'm like, wow, it's not what I thought it was. So that's what I was like, well, if it worked from then and it stood the test of time all the way to now, there has to be something to it, or people wouldn't be doing it still. So I'm like, let's just add it in there because there's got to be some kind of benefit, whether I know it or not now. It has to be something beneficial in there if it's going to be around that long. If it didn't work, it would just be discarded. So.
Yeah, so that's the thing as well with Celtic Warrior workouts as well. Like people get intimidated going to the gym. You got Planet Fitness and stuff, and which is like for people, I feel like it's a less intimidating environment. But sometimes I feel the atmosphere in there is not great. Uh, but again, you get out what you put into it. Yeah, you can't knock certain gyms. If people are going, that's great. If you're going
Yeah.
to the gym and that's a start. I don't knock any gym or any place. But it can be intimidating going to the gym where people are throwing weights around, most of the trainers there when you sign up, they're there for you for a day. They don't really care.
Yeah.
They're just looking for personal training. Like they're just looking to get clients to make money. Some of them, not all of them, but I'm just saying there are certain aspects of that when people don't really care. They're not really there. They're there for selfish reasons. They're not there to help people get better.
Right.
I feel there's like anything. There's people who care a lot, and there's people who don't. But what people don't understand is you can do workouts at home. Like you said, you could buy a slam ball. You know what I mean? And you could do like what you have me doing. Like on leg day, I'll do like 4 or 5 sets of leg press, 10 to 12 reps, and then you have me doing 3 sets of jumping squats for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So it's 2 minutes 15 seconds of just consistently jump squats, 3 sets, and my legs are on fire.
Yeah.
Like you can do that squat in your house. You know what I mean? You can use a slam ball. You can buy weights at Five Below, or you can get them at TJ Maxx, CJ Maxx, or any of these places that have like really, really always deals, yoga mats and stuff like for half or nothing. And you can get a couple of small weights, and you can do all these. You can do lunges with them. You can do shoulder press with them. You can do dips on a chair at home. You can go for long walks. You can go for longer walks. You can increase your pace. There's so many things you can do without having to go to the gym if you just want to stay active.
Absolutely.
You don't have to go to a gym. You can literally go at home and in your garage, in your spare room, and do whatever you want to do. There's so many different things, bodyweight stuff, which goes back to slam balls and medicine balls. You don't need big heavy weights and Olympic bars and state-of-the-art squat racks and all these things. You know what I mean? You can basically do whatever you need to do at home. And then if you get a good start and a good foundation, then maybe you will want to go to the gym. And then when you go there, you'll feel better. But with YouTube and everything, it's just there's no reason why you can't find something there that will suit you. And that's why my YouTube channel, Celtic Warrior Workouts, there's so many different types of workouts. So if you don't like one, you can try another. If you don't like that, there's another, and there's another, and there's another.
Or they can do every one. If they want to do every one in a sequence, they can do that. If they fail at one, they say, I'm going to keep doing that one until I can finally get through it. Then you move on to the next one. I think one of the best.
Like me, it end up like this. End up looking like this.
One of the best inventions, I think, for home workouts was those damn bands that have the handles on them. Like they didn't have those when I was a kid.
You can do bands. You can do shoulders with bands. You can do
bands.
anything.
I've had people take them with them on trips because they're like, oh, I'm going to be traveling. I don't have a gym. I'll be at a cabin, for like the weekend. But I still want to get my workouts. What do you think I should do? Should I, go hiking in the woods? I'm like, yeah, do hiking. Take one of those bands with you because you can get them on Amazon for like $4 or $5. Take the bands with you up there. You can do your laterals, you can do curls, you can do rows, you can do, you can actually put them up on your shoulders, put your feet in them, do squats with them. And you can pretty much do everything with a band. And those things weren't around when we were kids. You know what I mean? We had ankle weights, we had, little weights and stuff that you'd see in people's houses, or the Joe Weider weight sets and stuff like that. You'd see in people's houses. Yeah. The plastic weights with the cement in them.
The band thing's a great idea. You can also get those push-up bars as well. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You can get an ab wheel. So you can basically bag. You just put in your bag. You put a set of bands, a set of like push-up bars, and you can put in like an ab wheel. Yeah, and that's
you're good to go.
And you just do like jumping squats if you want. You know what I mean? You can do jumping squats. You use the bands to do like Romanian deadlifts if you want. Like there's so many things you can do. You can even use a broom handle to do Romanian deadlifts. Just all in the form, whatever way you put into it. But yeah, there's so many things you can do. You can want to do pull-ups. You can just find, I don't know, an area of the house or
a tree hanging outside. You can jump up in the tree.
Anything, it's easy. It's not as hard as people think it is. You don't need state-of-the-art equipment to have a good workout.
It's just making the decision that you're going to do it. That's the hardest part. I feel like people getting over that, making the decision, getting into the first time, and then trying to be consistent. I think maybe people jump into it too far. They try to go too far too fast, and they wind up not enjoying it or getting hurt, and they just kind of step back, and that leads them to the point where they're like, well, yeah, working out's not for me, And the idea is you don't want to wait till the doctor says you have to work out because then you're in a bad spot,
Absolutely.
So...
motion is lotion, fella.
Use it or lose it, right? I used to think that was a joke when I was a kid, but Here we are.
No, it's true. It's very true. Very, very true.
Cool, man. Well, listen, I don't want to
But
take up any more of your time, man. I know you got tons of stuff to do. It's getting late over here, man. I just really appreciate you coming on here again. I remember we talked about when you did the first time, once you come back and we'll do another one. And honestly, I was pumped to do tonight, man. I'll be honest with you. Like, I was able to watch you go through all that training, all that pushing, all that nonstop stuff that you did, the eating, everything, cutting out things in your diet. And I was like, people are going to go, why? He looks good, but he's a wrestler. He's supposed to look good. And I'm like, they don't even understand what he did. So I thank you for coming on here to explain it.
Dude, no,
to
thank
people.
you, man. You listen, for people watching, like, I use RP Diet. It's a great way of like managing like my food, but all the macros were created by you, which I use all the time. We had a conversation on the live at Christmas, not last Christmas, Christmas 2018, just before New Year, and we went back to basics with the macros, and then before Mania, I was kind of a little bit confused where I was going, and I came back to you, and we got it right, and I went out there for WrestleMania, like shredded, and I didn't go out. I wasn't starving the whole week before. I had a really good supply of energy because a lot of stuff going on, but I got it right, and it was an unbelievable experience for me. Like I learned an awful lot, and then I just kept that. And I think the biggest thing for people is like when they get down to a certain way, you think, well, it's okay. I'm just going to put the weight back on, eat what I want, and then I'll just cut back down again. I kind of feel there's a lot of different theories on that about how much muscle you can build by going up, but you also put on fat. But I think if you find a way that you like, I'm not talking about people who like compete bodybuilding shows or any of that stuff. I'm talking about people who generally, you want to look good all year round. You know what I mean? I feel like if you find that way, get your macros set, find that sweet spot. And then if you're ever like me, sometimes I go 5 pounds over, sometimes I go 5 pounds under. But if you're in that area, you can dial it back in like 5 days. You
Absolutely.
can just pull it right back in 5 days. You don't let it, as long as you don't let it go too far, just be responsible every day as every day. And just be accountable for what you eat. And just always know like what this is going to lead to. You don't have to starve yourself. Some days you might go like, well, I only go taking 125 grams of carbs. But you know what? Feck it. You're human, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you feel like it and you want to do it, spoil yourself. Just remember the next day, just be accountable for it. As long it's all adds up, man. Like, kind of like you cheat yourself, but just be responsible for everything, all the food you take in, and be responsible for your own diet, because there is a great satisfactory feeling about knowing that, being able to stay in that shape that you want to stay in.
Absolutely. Awesome, man. That's a great message, man. I appreciate it so much. So,
Uh,
Aaron and I will be here with Brady sitting on the couch Friday night, waiting to see Sheamus, the Celtic Warrior, come down that ramp again.
Nice. Brady's my number one fan. Man.
We always go, you want to watch Uncle Sheamus? And he does his little head turn like that and looks at us.
My two were up there to calm down for the moment. They're still nuts, but I love them.
Awesome.
So, thanks for having me on again, Jerry.
Thanks
for
again, man.
for being a great guide and mentor on how to eat properly and measure my macros, because we got spot on. I feel like really have. So
I mean, a lot of it's because of the work, dude. You put the work in. Like, you do not, you don't give yourself enough credit. You're like, oh, I'm not. No, you work so hard, and I think it's important for the, at least get recognized that at least we're watching you. Me, your girlfriend, Erin, we're watching you work hard, and we are proud of you, and we're watching you all the time. And we couldn't be more prouder when you walk down to that ring and do your thing, because we know what went behind it, man. So congratulations.
I appreciate that, but here's another thing too. Don't want to take the air out of anyone's bubble, but like, and I don't want to sound like one of those influencers, like, do more, do this, do that. But as long as like, there's, no matter how hard you're working, there's probably someone working harder.
Right.
Just keep that in your mind, like that, yeah, I'm doing all this and all that, but I got to keep my foot on the accelerator, because there is people working harder than I am. And I know there's people working harder than I am, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Again, I hate when I hear all these people like, you're not doing enough, blah, 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 blah. I hate that stuff, because I feel like people have to make up their own minds. And some people are happy just doing enough. Some people are happy just getting to the gym and doing a bit. Which
Right.
is, just go do a bit. And that's cool, because it's whatever you're happy, whatever makes you happy is very important. I think it's important to be fit. I think it's important to have a healthy lifestyle. But don't anyone tell you or bark at you and tell you you're not doing enough, or you're not doing this or whatever. Just do what makes you happy. As long as you're doing a bit and you're being responsible for your diet, for the food you take in, and you're getting to the gym now and again, even a couple of days a week, it's better than nothing. But remember, no matter if you think you're working your balls off, you're like your best, there's somebody working harder than you. So always have that in the back of your mind, and you'll continue to work as just as hard, if not harder.
It's good advice for anything, not just athletics.
Huh?
That's good advice for anything, not just athletics. Business, work, whatever.
Just don't let the ego take over, man. There's someone out there working harder than you, working harder than me, and that's the key. Just knowing that in the back of your head, say, okay, maybe I could do a little bit more.
Absolutely, man. Great stuff, man. Thank you so much, man. I can't wait to have you on again. Again, we'll be watching Friday night as always, man.
Appreciate it, Jerry. You're a man. I love you, dude.
Thank you too, buddy. Much. Thank you, man. Talk soon.
Bye.